Hey guys, welcome back to Auto Detour. My name is Ryan, and today we have a 2018 Ford Raptor. This example is in one of the brand new colors, leadfoot gray, and you just have to see one in person because pictures do not do this color justice. This color is so much more dynamic than I ever thought it would be, but in the sun it has so much more character than I expected it to, and it just really makes it look like, well, a battleship. It looks tough, it looks militaristic, and it just fits this truck perfectly. Before we get started today, I want to remind all of you where Ford has come from to get to the point of producing a Raptor today. In the last 15 years, let's walk around the front. I've lined up this brand new 2018 Raptor next to a 2003 F-150. And let's just do a comparison here. Just look at how much bigger this truck is than the 2003 F-150. These are both Super Cruise, 4 doors. This one is 4-wheel drive. This is not a 2-wheel drive truck, so this is full height. Look at how tall the hood is compared to the hood on a regular F-150 from 15 years ago. Just unbelievable, the size difference. The styling difference is insane. Look how aggressive this looks compared to the more subtle look of the older truck. Let's walk back here a little bit. I'll squeeze between these mirrors. Okay. So I'm 6'5", and this truck just feels so much more massive. I can barely reach onto the roof up here, whereas I can reach over this one pretty easily. The styling obviously is much more modern because it's a more modern truck. All right, so come around to the back here. Look at the height difference between the bed of the 2003 compared to the bed height of the Raptor here. Again, so much bigger truck. Seeing it in person, proportionally, it looks like a normal sized truck, but when you get up next to it, it is just, I mean, I keep saying it's huge, but it is a massive truck for a half-ton truck. This truck weighs approximately 3 tons, so it is a big truck, heavy truck. And come up here a little closer. The Raptor comes stock with 35-inch tires, and look at this comparison to tire size. Just a massive difference. All right, guys, so I thought it would be fun just to do this side-by-side comparison while we had the opportunity. I hope that kind of helps you get a better idea of just how large the new Raptor is compared to a standard F-150 of 15 years ago. All right, so now that we're just with the Raptor here, let's go around the outside, talk about some of the options. This particular Raptor has every option that you can buy except for the orange stripes on the seats on the interior, which I'll show you when we go to the inside here. And it comes with the gray stripes, which I think looks better with this truck anyway. And so I think it was optioned absolutely perfectly. One of the options that comes with this truck is the beadlock capable wheels, 17-inch, and they come with the 35-inch BF Goodrich tires. This one also has the full graphics package, which includes the Raptor sticker here, which is new for this body style. The older one had the big dirt looking thing on the rear fender here. It also has stripes on the hood, which we'll look at in a second. So before we move around to the back, this one does have the Fox shocks like the other Raptors, but this one has about 13 inches of suspension travel compared to the 11 on the previous Raptors. So let's move around to the back here. If you get the 801A or the 802A package on the Raptor, the applique is now included in that package rather than being a standalone option. These are the stock exhaust tips. When I first saw one, I thought it had aftermarket exhaust. But these exhaust tips are just massive. I can fit my whole hand in there. I mean, they're big. And so our taillights have the blind spot radars in them back here. Now that we're kind of on the lighter side here, even though it's a gray day, you can kind of get a better feel of what this color looks like. What's so exciting about them offering leadfoot in 2018 is it stands apart from the magnetic gray fenders just enough to give it some nice detail. They flow together really nicely. They complement each other. The magnetic gray is just enough different from the lead foot that it still gives that aggressive fender flare look. And then we have the gray wheels, or the black wheels with the gray bead locks that complement them so nicely. We have the dark with the black steps, and then we have the graphics on top of the lead foot. And because they're on lead foot, they're not obnoxiously loud like they would be on some of the other colors offered in the Raptor. So as a package, because you don't get to choose your color of wheel options, it goes with this color really nicely. And finally, we'll move around to the front. Nothing new on the front. That's a carryover from the previous year, but you'll notice that the front end is still the 2017 front end. They did not transfer to the 2018 front end for the standard F-150s, which has a bit of a wider grill piece here, and the headlights are a little taller. But other than that, I love this front end. I love the louvers in the hood. And again, I was going to point out this, the last part of the graphics package is the stripes on the hood, and again, looks amazing with the lead foot. So it's freezing out here. Let's get in the truck, look at some of the interior options, and take it for a drive. Inside the Raptor, there's a couple of things that are new for 2018. I just want to touch on those real quick. New for 2018 with the 802A package, you can see up here we have the Bang & Olufsen sound system, which is a definite upgrade from they used to have the Sony sound system in 2017. I know a lot of people were wanting upgraded sound for the Raptor, and they have answered that with the Bang & Olufsen sound system. Another piece of information is for 2018, the accent lighting. It's only one color. It's that white/gray accent lighting that are kind of in the footwells and along the doors. You can only do white. You can't change the colors like you used to be able to in 2017. And lastly, for 2018, we have a brand new key, and it no longer is just your generic Ford key. Now it is Raptor specific, which is a very cool detail. Another thing that is now a part of the 802A package rather than an option is this truck has the heated steering wheel. So as I mentioned before, this truck is completely loaded with every option you can get, except for this stripe here. You can get in an optional orange color, and this one's gray, which matches this truck better in my opinion. So since there are so many other videos out there on all the features of Raptors, I'm not going to go into all the detail. Since this one has all the options, you're going to get everything like the carbon fiber. You're going to get the technology things like the larger center display here that shows all your digital gauges up at the top rather than analog gauges. You're going to get the Sync 3. You're going to get the Bang & Olufsen sound system. One of the features is it has automatic high beams, so it'll turn the high beams on or off depending on if a car is coming or not. It has LED side markers, heated mirrors, heated seats, heated rear seats. I mean, the list just goes on and on. It's basically a luxury vehicle on 35-inch tires. I want to introduce my brother Eric. This is Eric.
Hello.
This is his truck, and it is a beautiful truck, and I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to go over it with you guys and show it to you. It's a really neat opportunity for me. So we're going to talk to Eric a little bit about owning the truck. It is pretty new for him as well. And anyway, let's just go for a drive. That worked well.
I think it's a good idea.
All right, so maybe we're going to sit still here for a minute. So Eric, tell us a little bit about what inspired you to get a Raptor. I know you were in the market for a truck, not necessarily a Raptor at the same time. What inspired you to move towards a Raptor? I mean, other than the general awesomeness.
Right.
So,
well, I started looking at other trucks, you know, other F-150s to replace my original F-150 that I had, and I was looking around at them, and by the time you started adding even a few options, you know, they're getting up into the $50,000, $60,000 range, and the amount of capability by just going up to a Raptor really made more sense to me. If you're going to spend the money on a truck, why don't you get what you really want? Because at the end of the day, I feel like as adults, all we really want to do is buy the cars that we were drawing as 10-year-olds, and
Yeah.
this is kind of what that looks like. So that's really what I wanted.
Yeah, and that's really all that matters. I mean, and I know there was a little logic that went into it as far as if you were to sell it or resale.
Sure. Go look at the resale value on Raptors. The ones that are still from the previous generation Raptors are commanding enormous amounts of money still. So the amount of depreciation you see in Raptors has been, pretty insignificant compared to standard trucks because they're pretty desirable. They're hard to come by. They do make quite a few of them. I think Ford's making about 20,000 Raptors a year, but there's way more demand than that than can keep up. So highly desirable, looks amazing, and obviously the performance of this thing is incredible. I know you haven't driven it yet, but it is really fast and really capable. So
yeah, I'm excited to try it out.
Yeah.
And then from a back to the value standpoint, you touched on it a little bit. Used Raptors are demanding a large sale price still. So you may pay more up front, but down the road, a standard F-150 versus a Raptor is going to show far more appreciation or depreciation than a Raptor will.
Right. So guys, when you're trying to talk your wives into a Raptor, say really it's the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's totally logical.
Yeah. No, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I think it's a very prudent, rational decision. Your wives will appreciate it later.
They'll actually thank you for it.
Oh, most definitely.
So on that note,
yeah,
let's take it for a drive. So as we get going here, I'm going to ask Eric to hold the camera for me. I accidentally left my suction cup in the Mini from one of my previous videos. If you want to watch that one, you can go back and watch it. So I'm really curious to feel the acceleration. I haven't gotten on it yet. So this is the 3.5 liter EcoBoost, which is the same EcoBoost as the previous model year. It is the similar platform that is used in the new Ford GT supercar. Again, 450 horsepower, 510 pound-feet of torque. Should be plenty to get this 3-ton monstrosity down the road. So let's find out. All right. So here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh my God. That is unreal. And so here we're going to take it around some corners. Oh, and it handles really nicely as well. Much flatter around the corners than I was expecting. Again, back to the 35-inch tires. The fact that it has tires that large on 17-inch wheels, so not exactly low-profile tires whatsoever, but it feels really solid and planted, and it's got almost a sports car feel in a 6,000-pound pickup truck. We're on this windy road out in the middle of nowhere, and I feel perfectly comfortable just kind of almost tossing it into these corners. And this is clearly my first time driving the truck, and I'm almost immediately perfectly comfortable just driving this thing. Incredible stability through the corners. And at the same time, it's so smooth, so tame. Sounds great. When you just want to cruise, it's very calm, it's very quiet, very luxurious. So it goes from like this monster race truck to, again, back to that luxury car feel. Okay, so Eric just informed me that I was driving in normal mode. So we're gonna switch it over to sport mode here. Just stop in the middle of the road here. So we'll switch it to sport. And Eric, if you wouldn't mind telling me what sport mode does for me.
All right, so what sport mode's going to do is switch over your traction control to a more sport handling, stiffen up the suspension, stiffen up the steering response, as well as it creates a different shift points, keeps it in a higher RPM range, gets you into the boost faster. So it's just going to be a lot more responsive in every way.
All right, let's try it out. little tire spin. Woo! Oh yeah, it holds the RPMs higher around the corners here. I can feel the difference in the steering, honestly. It's tighter, it's got a little bit better feel. All right, so Eric, you've had a chance to drive this thing for a few weeks. Mm-hmm. This is your daily driver.
Yep. As we talked about earlier, it's very practical. I think a quite responsible purchase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't... Sorry, guys. Again with the suction cup. Next time. Yeah, responsible. I mean, I don't know why I don't own one yet.
I can come up with a few reasons, maybe.
So tell me a little bit about the ownership experience, the daily driving experience, and then your overall impression, because this was this your first time driving a Raptor?
Yeah, I had never driven one before. I just, thought I'd get a new truck, but this is what I really wanted. So I went and test drove a couple before I bought this one, but hadn't driven one before. I think what surprises me about the daily driving experience of this is you're wrapped in a Baja capable race truck, 13 inches of travel with 35-inch tires, and it doesn't drive like a truck. I mean, you can make it do astonishing things, but what really, the things that I wasn't expecting about it is that it drove better than my wife's Explorer, or certainly better than my previous truck. It's so quiet and solid inside the cabin when you want it to be, and so civilized. It really feels like a car. You're in this cocoon of comfort while you're driving around in this race-capable truck.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to express that sort of dichotomy that you feel if you've ever driven a performance car, or certainly a performance truck. It just doesn't get that way. And I've driven the old Raptor too. This truck is 500 pounds lighter, yet bigger, way more horsepower, but feels a lot lighter and more responsive, a lot faster. Everything's more comfortable about this than the last Raptor. Now, I know some people were concerned about the going to a twin turbo V6 instead of the 6.2 liter V8 that the old Raptor had, but you get better gas mileage, of course. But honestly, if you're complaining about the V6, I don't think you've ever actually driven it.
Well, now, I had those concerns too.
Well, sure.
Because everyone's like, well, I mean, V8s, they sound awesome.
Yeah.
And they were powerful, but,
sure.
And then
this is just faster, more powerful, better gas mileage.
And lighter.
Lighter, yeah. I know there are also people who really don't like the fact that they're doing that sound enhancement in the cabin. Yeah. So they are pumping sound in through the speakers. And I think to get a feel for what that's like, it's not a different sound from the motor. They're just enhancing what you can hear. I think we ought to hook the camera up to the exhaust outside and actually see what this thing sounds like.
Yeah.
It sounds really good. And I thought that I was going to not like this whole sound enhancement cabin thing. But honestly, like, BMW's been doing it for a while. And it really, even driving it for a couple weeks, I actually realized it doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, on that note, let's take the camera. Let's get some, so you guys can hear the exhaust outside the truck. And we'll go drive it around a little bit so you can hear it. And then we'll finish up here with the drive. I really appreciate you guys watching my videos. I've got a lot of positive feedback, and that makes it so much more fun. And I really want to thank Eric again for letting me drive his truck. So if you like these videos, and if you want to support my channel, just hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and there'll be plenty more content to come. Got lots of plans for my car, reviewing other cars. So anyway, thank you, Eric.
You're welcome.
Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.